Go.
Hello and welcome to Biscontv Television News today. I'm Stella Opara. We'll begin with the headlines. On the national scene, federal government seeks global leaders' collaboration on tech challenges. WHO announces global resurgence of cholera. In business news, federal government plans electricity offences tribunal activates 2.6 million meters. On the foreign scene, Russian President Putin warns South Korea against arming Ukraine. And in the weather sport, Ocon George targets 4x400 meters Olympic spot in Cameroon. Now the news in full. Nigeria's Minister of State for Labour, Nkiruka Onyejocha, has urged global leaders to collaborate in addressing technological challenges and building a more resilient and inclusive society for future generations. Speaking at the 112th session of the International Labour Conference, Onyejocha emphasized the need for collective action to mitigate the threats of technology to the world of work. The minister's address aligned with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which aims to transform Nigeria into a premier investment hub on the global stage. She highlighted the government's policies targeting food security, job creation, poverty alleviation, and social cohesion, as well as the recent launch of the Labour Employment and Empowerment Program to create jobs and equip youths with entrepreneurship skills. Onyejocha expressed the government's commitment to promoting decent work, social justice, and international labour standards. She also announced ongoing efforts to review the national minimum wage and solicited cooperation from tripartite constituents to advance social justice and boost national productivity. Now, the World Health Organization (WHO) has announced a spike in cholera in several regions of the world, with almost 195,000 cases and over 1,900 deaths reported in 24 countries since the start of this year. The agency's Eastern Mediterranean region reported the highest number of cases, followed by the African region, the region of the Americas, the Southeast Asia, and the European region. WHO in a statement stated that there are no reported cases in the Western region. The UN Health Agency said it exhausted its global stockpile of oral cholera vaccines, OCV, by March, but was able to exceed the emergency target of 5 million doses in early June for the first time in 2024. The organization reported that since January last year, 16 countries have requested 92 million doses of OCV, almost double the 49 million produced during that time. Meanwhile, WHO, the UN Children's Fund, and other partners are working together to use resources to find long-term solutions for cholera. In another development, a federal high court in Kano has nullified the reinstatement of Muhammad Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano, barely a month after he was restored to the throne by the Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf. The court also nullified all the actions taken after the controversial reinstatement. However, the Kano State government has vowed to appeal the judgment. The Commissioner for Information, Baba Dantiye, confirmed that the government would appeal the judgment. The latest court order has further deepened the crisis in the state, which has been on tenterhooks since Bayero was dethroned and replaced with Sanusi II on May 23, 2024. But the State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice Haruna Dederi, in his interpretation of the judgment at a press conference in Kano, said the court reaffirmed Sanusi's reappointment. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Biscontv Television News. Now to business news. The federal government has declared that it was perfecting the process for the establishment of an electricity offences tribunal with an inbuilt appeal system to speedily tackle power-related offences. It also declared that a total of 2,655,488 meters in the power sector had been tested and calibrated, as most of the equipment had been deployed for use by consumers across the country. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, the Managing Director, Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, Aliyu Tahir, stated that in line with the mandate of the agency, NEMSA has tested and calibrated over 2.6 million meters. According to Tahir, NEMSA, which is an agency of the federal government established in 2015, is still testing and calibrating more meters to ensure their functionality, durability, and safety when in use. He said a total of 21,681 electricity installation projects have been inspected and tested, out of which 13,154 have been certified. Also, a total of 16,624 electricity networks have been monitored by the agency. Still to come on Biscontv Television News is foreign news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now to foreign news. Vladimir Putin has warned South Korea it would be making a big mistake if it arms Ukraine in the war against Russia. His comments come after Seoul said it was considering such a possibility in response to Russia and North Korea's new pact to help each other in the event of aggression against either country. The Russian leader was speaking in Vietnam shortly after a lavish visit to Pyongyang, where he signed a mutual defense agreement with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. He also warned that Moscow is willing to arm Pyongyang if the US and its allies continue supplying Ukraine with weapons. Following Putin's remarks, South Korea's presidential office today said it would consider various options in supplying arms to Ukraine, and its stance will depend on how Russia approaches this issue. It also summoned the Russian ambassador, Georgy Zinoviev, to protest the pact, demanding that Moscow immediately ceases military cooperation with Pyongyang. You're still watching Biscontv Television News. Up next is sports news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now to the world of sports. Multiple African Games gold medalist with the women's 4x400 meters relay team, Patience Okon-George, is confident the Nigerian quartet can qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics event at this year's African Senior Athletics Championships, which begins today in Cameroon. Okon-George, Esther Joseph, Omolara Ogunmakinju, Ella Onojuwewo, and Esther Okon are among the 40 athletes contingent of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria to the championships, which end on Wednesday, June 26. With 9 days to the end of the qualification window for the Paris Games, the quartet, which missed out on the World Relays in the Bahamas, where Nigeria's other quartets qualified for the Olympics, is poised to complete the relays team. Their absence in the Bahamas was hinged on visa issues for some of the athletes, including Patience Okon-George, while Omolara Ogunmakinju was sidelined by an injury. Each member of the quartet will also be running the women's 400 meters flat in Cameroon to punch their individual tickets to Paris. Meanwhile, Nigeria's star-studded contingent to the African Championships includes World record holder in women's 100 meters hurdles, Toby Amusan, sprint sensation Favor Ofili, Ese Brume, Temitope Additional, and Choma Onyekwere. And that's it for now on Biscontv Television, compiled and produced by Tomiloba Abolari. Now the last line. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Focus on respect, not popularity. I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for watching.
Cool.